Hello, welcome. My name is David Sabat, Dynamics Pre-Sales Consultant at ANS. Today I'm excited to share with you our housing solution, primarily for housing organizations that are looking to streamline that customer experience to assist with managing those cases or requests that come into the service desk or support team, right the way through from initial submission to closure. So I'm going to walk you through this solution, show you how it can benefit you, and touch on some of the key areas that this has to offer. So what is it, you might ask? It's a pre-built solution that we spent lots of time and effort into creating that works with Dynamics 365 customer service. So it can be installed within the environment and it will have lots of pre-built functionality, so apps and bits and pieces that we're going to run through in the demo today. So the platform itself is built on the latest Microsoft Cloud technology. It's a ready-to-go solution that can be implemented within a short space of time. So you don't need to spend lots of time configuring and doing lots of workshops to build the solution out that's already pre-built. You can manage your customer requests in one place and offer a streamlined experience to those end users. So offering exceptional customer experience, which we all want and love. It's easy to customize. So we've obviously pre-built the package, but you can extend functionality. You can change names of fields or other bits and pieces that I'm going to show you today quite easily. And obviously scalability. So as your business grows, it's a powerful tool with the ability to build out and extend functionality to things such as Power Apps or forms to send out questionnaires and so on and so forth. And we'll touch on some of those areas today. Before I dive into the demonstration, I just wanted to touch on some of the key areas that I really want you to take away from this demonstration. So what we're going to do is really go on a journey from the initial case submission and show you how that comes into the system, right the way through to closure, talk around some of the key components of the cases, so capturing relevant information at certain stages. We're going to touch on the Dynamics 365 app for Outlook, show you some automation around tasks, phone calls and appointments. We'll also show you a little bit around the service level agreements and knowledge base article functionality, and then some extensions of Dynamics 365 customer service, such as customer insights and surveys using forms. Moving into the demo now, before I open Dynamics 365 customer service, I'm going to start with where this particular request has come from. So in this scenario, we're using an unhappy customer called Jim, who has sent an email through to either a support mailbox or, in this case, my own personal email address. And what I'm going to do from this is raise a request within Dynamics 365 customer service. So on the right-hand side here, on the ellipsis of the email message, if I click that, scroll down to Dynamics 365 app for Outlook. So this is an additional app that you can easily install and link up to your Dynamics 365 customer service, and it allows integration between your Outlook profile as well as Dynamics 365. So you can see here that this particular individual, Jim, is not found in the system. So on the bottom right hand side here, I'm just going to hit the plus icon, add as a contact. You have some other options in there as well. And it will pre-populate some of the names. So you can scan a business card if you wanted. You can see that Jim, the first name and the last name, Sullivan, has already been populated. And you can then quickly fill in some information there if you wanted. You've got the email address there and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to click Save and Close. And that will now have created a new contact within Dynamics 365. I've got two options now. What I could do from Outlook is create a new record, so create a new case from this email. So if I click on the plus icon and case, I can create one there. What I'm going to do is navigate away from this into the contact within Dynamics 365 and create the case from the email that's associated to that individual. So now I've opened up Dynamics 365. On the left-hand side here, I've gone to Contacts. I've opened up Jim, the new contact that we've created from Outlook. You can see in the timeline section that there's the email that we tracked against this individual. If I click on this icon that says Open Record, it will then open the newly tracked email to the individual. And from here in the toolbar at the top, I can select Convert to and Case. And what that'll do is give me some options to then convert this email to a case. So you can see this pre-populate with a customer. If I select subject, let's just call it a query, and let's hit convert. We've now created a new case record. What we can see on the left-hand side and the case detail section is some information that's specific to this record. In the timeline section, you can see the tracked email that came through from the contact and now has been placed on the case record, so you can get a kind of a 360 picture of that interaction that you're having with the customer all in one concise view. You can also see that by raising this case, it's automatically notified the customer that their request has been raised. So if I click on the email within the timeline section, you can just see some automated information that has been sent directly to the customer to let them know that the case has been raised. On the left hand side here, if I move down, you can see description. You've got some other information that can be captured to understand this case better. You've also got an SLA section at the bottom. You can see that the first response by has now been populated, and the first response sent has now automatically updated based on this email being sent directly to the customer. So moving back over to the left-hand side here in the case details section, you can see that it's obviously associated a unique reference number to the case. It's associated to a customer, Jim, as I showed you earlier. But what we could also do is add a property that's associated to this individual. So at the moment, you can manually add and manage properties, but you can automate that. So it automatically picks up the property that's associated to that individual. So let's say that Jim lives at 20 Boyce Close, which he mentioned in the email. I'm also going to change the case type to a complaint, and notice that the timeline section will automatically populate with a list of tasks that need to be carried out in order to be able to progress this case request that Jim has submitted. So that's a bit of automation that we've put in place that can create various bits and pieces to help. So notice now that I've changed the case type to complaint, it's generated some tasks and associated to this case. So you've got things such as calling the tenant back, an escalation if need be. And what we can do is associate these individual tasks to either teams or individuals within Dynamics 365 customer service. So that can easily be done by opening up the record, or you've got this little icon here that says assign, but you can go in there and assign those tasks to different people as and when you see fit. So moving up the screen to the tab section, you can see we've got various different tabs which break down other areas that are related to cases, such as learning outcomes. So here's a new record that we've created in order to be able to capture learning outcomes that are associated to a case. So you can quite quickly go in there and see associated learning outcomes and pull those through to things like dashboards and views to understand how to kind of offer better customer service moving forward. You've got things like additional details. So if it's a formal complaint, you can just quickly click on that slider. And also if it needs to be escalated, you can select that. You've also got knowledge-based articles in here. So if these were enabled in the system, you'll be able to go in and see associated knowledge-based records that you can then send directly to a customer from within a case, or you can open that up and talk them through it over the phone. So moving above those tabs to the business process flow, best way I would describe this is a way of kind of checkpoints to capture information as the case progresses through the system. So you can see we've created stages. You've got identify, research, validate, and resolve. And at each stage, it basically duplicates fields that are captured within the case. So you can see at a glance what needs to be populated in order to progress it to the next stage. So you can see at the moment it's currently at identify stage. You can see it as a customer has been populated. If I move across to the research stage, there's some information in here. What we've also done is just kind of adapt that. So if it's a formal complaint, notice that the validate section is now going to change. If I change this value from no to yes, notice that the complaint section is now visible, where it captures various information around a complaint. And if I change that back to no, it will change back to validate and it will capture different information. So it's a good way to kind of understand what needs to be done in order to progress the case further. So before I close this case is completed, I just wanted to show you some other key areas that are associated to the case record, just to give you that 360 picture of how these bits and pieces string together. So on the left-hand side, you've got things like cases, the learning outcomes, which we talked about earlier, knowledge articles, so you can populate knowledge-based articles in there as well. Down here in the customer section, you've got things like properties, contacts, and accounts. Instead of clicking into the property section, what I'm going to do is navigate to it from this case record by clicking on the 20 Boys Close record, like so. That'll take me away from the screen and it'll give me some more information about that particular area. So I've associated the primary tenant to it, which is Jim Sullivan in this case. There's some information about the property. There's some information about maintenance. So what I've done here is populated a date for the maintenance service, and what is also automatically generated within the system is an appointment for this particular property record. So again, you can pull that through to things like dashboards and associate that particular record to another individual, but it's just basically an actionable task that someone needs to follow up to book an appointment to go and service the boiler. You've also got cases, so you can click into that section and see related cases all in one screen. So that 360-degree view of exactly what's going on with a property, a tenant, an individual, as well as the cases that they're raising. If I navigate to the top here in the dashboard section, I created a standard customer service dashboard, and what the dashboards do within Dynamics 365 is pull information from various different areas, such as cases, learning outcomes, and properties, into one concise view with lots of charts that you can easily manipulate in real time to understand that data on a much deeper level. So on the left-hand side here, you've got all cases, in progress and problems solved. Over here, you've got active cases, open activities. If I just scroll down, you've got active learning outcomes, so not too many at the moment. And if we go down a bit more, you've got active properties. So I've populated the system with 2 active properties, but if you had a lot more, they would be showing in that screen, and you can manipulate them as you see fit. These are very, very easy to create, the dashboards, so we can assist you with setting them up and pointing in the right direction, and very, very easy to get up and running. So to finish off the demo, I'm just going to go back to cases, close off the case that's came into the system, and just show you what happens after that. So what it's going to do is automatically generate a customer survey or satisfaction survey, send that directly to the customer that they can populate, and we can gather some feedback on how that customer support was handled, and then we'll just dive briefly into customer service insights and just show you what that looks like and how you can gain a deeper understanding to the data that you're capturing within Dynamics 365 customer service. So if I click on the case section, and we will navigate through to the complaint and the boiler faulty complaint that Jim submitted earlier. In the top toolbar, I'm going to click on Resolve Case and hit Confirm. And what that's going to do is give me some more information I can populate around the resolution for this particular case. So let's just say engineer visit fixed issue. Let's hit Resolve. I'll move over to the next part. What I'm doing now is I've moved away from Dynamics 365 and I've logged into a personal mailbox for the end user, or the customer in this case, so Jim. So I've logged into my own personal account. You can see I'm logged in as Jim Sullivan. I've received 2 emails. So one is an automated email when the original case was raised. So I can click in there and I can see some pre-populated information about the request, which is very handy. So there's no manual intervention there. That's all automatic, and that's generated from the case within Dynamics 365 customer service. I've also got a Forms Pro survey. So this is a customer satisfaction survey. If I double click on that, and this is generated by the case being closed, I can then click on Start Survey. It'll take me away from that screen, and I can fill in some information about the satisfaction around that particular case. So we can just gather a better understanding about how our customers are being treated. Are they happy with the service provided? Are they unhappy? And if that's the case, then how can we improve that service to offer better customer service moving forward? just to finalize the demo, I just wanted to touch on customer service insights. So this application pulls information out from Dynamics 365 customer service, such as your cases that have been open and have been closed as resolved, into some pre-built or pre-configured dashboards that can manipulate the data on a much kind of deeper level than what you would have within Dynamics 365. So you've got some KPI summaries here. If you click on cases, you can see some pre-built dashboards here for cases where you can manipulate the data and understand it by priority and channel and timing, and you can configure this yourself as well, so you can actually add more insights in here and understand your customers on a much deeper level. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope that's given you a good understanding into what this solution can do for your organization. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with myself directly. My email's up on screen. You can also search ANS Group on YouTube for some really good demos on other products and dynamic solutions that we offer. And goodbye for now.